All right, so I'm joined today by Landon. He's going to give us a little bit of a musical performance to start with.
Okay.
Take it away.
Ah, shit. Well, there we go. That's
That's always the hardest part is figuring out where to start.
Man, I've been writing a lot of stuff. It's just, again,
You going to play an original for us?
if I can remember how it goes. I mean, again, I've just been doing everything on like keyboards and electric and stuff, just trying to think of it acoustically and make it sound like, because I record everything on my phone and computer and stuff. So like hearing it like a full band and then going just to an acoustic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. I can do like the most stereotypical acoustic song though.
Blackbird.
There we go. Bit of a
All right.
sound test.
I got
Taken away.
That's awful. No, I got bit up by this. A little bit of Blackbird right there.
My ex
Beatles
loves that
fan?
song. Yeah, big Beatles fan.
You ever heard the Eddie Vedder version?
I have.
Yeah. I like that version.
I love
Pretty
Eddie.
good.
Have you ever
Eddie's-
heard of his cover of I think it's the Bob Dylan song?
Which one?
I think it's like World War something like that.
Really?
I forget what it's called, but man, it
For some
is
reason that one's not coming to me.
scrumdiddly-dumptious. He plays it with a mandolin too. Oh my god.
I saw him this summer live, like the Eddie Vedder tour.
You actually saw him?
Yeah,
Damn.
in Barcelona. It was sweet. Yeah, it doesn't matter where it was at, but it was cool.
In context, Eddie Vedder's lead singer, Pearl Jam. If anyone didn't know that little.
Yeah, we actually had a podcast this morning, and Eddie Vedder got brought up, and
Double hitter. Oh,
Maddie
Eddie Vedder was here on
Maddie
the
didn't
Coyote
know.
cast.
Eddie Vedder. I wish that'd be sweet, man. No, but he puts on a heck of a show.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Yeah, like it's weird because he'd play the Pearl Jam songs, and like he actually played some of the guitar for it. Like none of the solos or anything, but he could play enough to kind of keep the
Just
rhythm
like more
and
like
stuff.
rhythm guitar. I
He'd
see.
play the rhythm,
Okay, cool.
but it was good. Like you'd think he'd need a full band to carry some of that stuff, but
Was it more of like a
Solid.
solo act or?
yeah, it was solo.
Okay.
He had like a small string section that played with him on
Damn.
a few songs.
I didn't realize he had his own because like I'm a big Pearl Jam fan.
Yeah.
I just didn't know he had any of his solo stuff.
Yeah, he did
Pearl fan.
he did a European tour.
Damn.
He's with this guy. His name's Glenn Hansard. He's like an Irish folk singer, and he came out and did like 3 songs with him. But for the most part, he's all solo. He did like
cool.
the Into the Wild soundtrack, like most of the songs on that.
Okay. Yeah.
Some Pearl Jam stuff, and then some of his ukulele album.
Eddie Vedder with a ukulele album.
Yeah.
What is this?
You ever heard that?
No, I have not.
Oh gosh, it's pretty good.
I'll check that out. Is that shit on Spotify? Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm again
No,
swearing
you're
every other 5
You're
seconds.
good. You're good. Yeah, it's on Spotify. It's old like love songs like Ella Fitzgerald stuff and like
Oh,
old,
okay.
old jazz
Oh,
classics.
so they're more like covers.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think it's
Okay.
almost all covers.
Cool. I'll check that out.
But yeah, it's pretty sweet.
All right, since we're on the topic of music, what is your 2019 hit of the year?
Hit of the year.
Yeah, what's your favorite
The
song that
song
came out of 2019?
that came out in 2019?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I don't know. I don't listen to much like music that comes out recently.
Really? Are you more of a classic rock kind of guy?
I mean, I listen to everything, but I don't know what I would say came out.
It's been a pretty dry year.
What are you thinking?
I mean, I don't know if I'm Tame Impala.
Yeah.
Like they're
Oh yeah.
my favorite band. Love that guy to death. He's been coming out with some good bops.
I've heard he's dropped 3 singles, right?
Yeah. Patience, Borderline, and Posthumous Forgiveness.
Yeah.
That song, oh my god. That's probably my number 1 for this year.
Yeah.
That song, man, I could just listen to that for hours.
Yeah, that is a good. I'm a big Tame fan.
Me too. I saw him twice this summer. And
Really? Wow. We're at in Detroit.
yeah, one in Detroit, and then I drove down to Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah, just to see him. That was a great concert. Fantastic.
Yeah. He's been doing a lot. Like he was in a lot of rap songs. He did a lot of the music.
Yeah, he does a lot of the
recently.
instrumental, like Travis Scott. He did that
Yeah.
entire album. He's done stuff for Lady Gaga.
He has a good song with ASAP Rocky.
Yeah, ASAP. He's been doing a lot of stuff with him too. Migues or whatever they're called. I don't really listen to them, but yeah, it's crazy. He's doing a lot of stuff.
He's a cool. It seems like these Australian guys, like,
Oh man, they're
there's
rocking
like,
it, dude.
There's something going on with
Yeah,
Australian rock
it's
right
something
now.
in the water.
Yeah, for sure.
Like King Gizzard, if you ever listen to them, love King Gizzard.
I was listening to them a lot, like the last 2 days.
Really,
Actually.
I love them. Like Nonagon Infinity. Oh,
Uh-huh.
I could listen to that album for like ever.
I was listening to Microtonal Banana.
Yeah.
Today.
I
That
love
was
that
cool.
psych rock. It's so
Yeah.
good.
They're crazy though, like the range and span of music that they did. Like,
Oh my god, it's
they put
crazy.
out like a jazz album. Their most recent one, I don't know
Yeah.
if you heard that. It was like thrash metal.
Yeah, they what 8 albums in the last 4 or 5 years?
That's insane.
Like,
they put out 5
God.
albums in a year.
Yeah,
I
God.
don't know how you even do that.
they're just insane.
Yeah,
God, I mean, there's also like what 8 members or something like that.
I think so. Yeah.
They have like 2 drummers, 3 guitar players, 2
Yeah.
bass players, or something like that. Like, sweet lord.
Yeah, the Australians can put out rock music. I was at a festival. I didn't even know I was going to it,
Mm-hmm.
but it was an Australian rock festival
Really, where was that?
in Pamplona, Spain.
Oh, in Spain.
Okay, so we booked this. Yeah, I was over there, and I was in Barcelona, but I went in to run with the Bulls.
Okay, so you actually went to Barcelona. I didn't know if that was a joke or not.
No, I was in
Damn.
Barcelona for 2 months this summer.
Damn.
But we wanted to run with the Bulls, which is in Pamplona. It's like an hour and a half
Right.
west. So we got on a train, went there. But we booked it like 2 days before we went, so we couldn't stay in town. So we stayed at this campground, and like,
Was it like a park or?
yeah, it's just it was a campground over in Spain. But like,
see.
what it was this Australian travel company, and I didn't know they're Australian at the time. They rented it out. And they
Okay.
put on a music festival and sold tickets and stuff. And like, I didn't even know that was part of it. We get there, and it's all Australians there. We're the only Americans.
In
There's
Spain.
a
That's
couple
weird.
guys from Canada. The rest are all Australian. And yeah, they had this rock festival, and I don't know if any of them were like huge names. The one group, the headliner, I think was Dune Rats.
I know Dune Rats.
Yeah, and they're like kind of popular, but the other ones were like pretty like
Yeah.
unknown. But it was a fun time.
Man, yeah, like you know Pond.
Yeah,
I love Pond. Like
yeah.
so good.
But the people,
just crazy.
They went crazy for that concert.
Yeah,
stuff.
man. The Australians know how to rock, dude.
They called them. See, I met these other Australian people, and they're from like the city, and they were making fun of a lot of the other. They're like, "Oh, we're not all like that." There's this group, and I can't think of what the slang name was for them, but they're like, "Yeah, it's kind of like what you guys call hillbillies," but it wasn't really exactly
Oh,
like
so
that.
kind of like the.
But they were like the partiers, and they were going like crazy there.
So, okay, I see. So it's more of like the outer limits Australians, the ones
Yeah.
that live under rocks and fight
Yeah.
dingoes all day. Those
Yeah.
guys.
But they were, I mean, it was a lot of fun. So then, yeah, this music festival goes to like 3:30 in the morning, and we're sleeping in
Okay.
tents. And then they start the after party. Like a DJ comes on.
After the 3:30.
Yeah, like at 3. Yes, like so they
God.
go till 4:30 or 5 in the morning, and we had to wake up at 5:30 to get on the bus to go run
Mm-hmm.
with the Bulls. So it's like it just went all night long, and you sleep in just
Jesus.
these little tents on like a little mattress, like real thin, like I don't know. Just wake up. And
Shit's
go
crazy.
Get on the bus.
And that's all in Spain.
Yeah.
Got to go to the Australian Rock Festival, hang out with Canadians in Spain.
Yeah, it's weird.
Wow, that's weird.
The best part was there was actually a Spanish band that played too, Spanish rock band.
Okay.
And so they started playing, they played Sweet Home Alabama for like the Americans there.
Oh, good. Got to represent.
But like they didn't, like they only knew like the chorus. And then for the Australians, they played, what did they play? This is an AC/DC song.
Yeah, because they're
AC/DC 's from
Aussie.
Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why can't I'm drawing a blank. Oi. Oi. Oi.
Oh, yeah.
TNT. They played TNT and that song, like I swear all I knew was the ois.
Because
But
that's all they speak.
everybody went crazy. It was a lot of fun. That was
I love festivals.
yeah.
The 2 I went to, it was the Shaky Knees Festival, which that's a really big name one in America. That's the one in Georgia. Crazy good lineup. Like I saw Tame, Cage the Elephant,
Yeah.
Group Love. They did that song Tongue Tied, if you know
Yeah,
that
yeah.
one. What was the other? Interpol. They're
Okay.
great. Love Interpol. I saw The Foals. That was great. Japanese Breakfast. Finn Wolford, if you know him. The
never
guy
heard
the
of
guy
him.
from Stranger Things, that kid, Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in the band.
Really?
Yeah, I forget what it's called, but
love
they're
that.
they're pretty good. I forget the name. Something with a C, I think.
Huh.
Something Cypress or something. Calpurnius, that's what it is. So I got to shake his hand. That was really cool.
Sweet.
I got to shake Matt, the lead singer of KG Elephant.
Yeah.
That was really cool to do. The lead singer from the Fools literally jumped on me, so that was crazy.
Were you up pretty close then?
Yeah, for the entire we were. So how they ran, it was like 9 a.m. till like 2 p.m. or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I was up front all day. I didn't move, especially.
Did
Well,
they
I mean,
mosh at all there or not?
not really. I mean, Group Love got crazy. Like that got insane.
Really?
Yeah, which I was really surprised because they're kind of like more of like a modern new wave kind of
Yeah.
rock band. But when Tongue Tied came on, that was insane.
Feel
Because
that
like that day I was kind of like got pushed back a little bit. Like I was maybe 20 feet away from the barrier. When they start like the dun 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 dun, that beginning part, just the flood of white girls, dude. It went
Went to the
insane.
front.
Just pushed. It was pretty. I was like, I have a little bit of claustrophobia, and it was kind of surrounding. Man, I felt like I was in just a sea of people. It was insane. It was incredible. But they did great. Other than me almost being trampled.
Right.
My friend's bag got lost in that sea of people. Lost her passport and stuff like that. It was
That
crazy.
sucks.
But yeah, great performance. And then the one that I went to in Detroit, Mopop, it's kind of like play on Monterey Pop Festival, the one in the 60s. I think that was in California though. But that was great too. I saw Lizzo. I'm not a big Lizzo fan, but
Yeah.
from looking on the outside as not a fan, fantastic job.
Yeah.
She pulled the flute out and everyone went
She pulled the what?
the flute.
Oh, the flute.
She's known for her flute playing, I guess.
Really?
I don't know, and twerking. Like that's what she's known for, is her flute playing and her twerking. But everyone started crying when she started pulling the flute out.
Seriously?
Yeah,
Is she any good?
She was great. Yeah, I liked her. I mean, she had that one song that
Yeah.
it's something. Turns out I'm 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like
We
that.
we actually talked about that this morning too. That's funny.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was great. Saw Vampire Weekend there. They were good. I'm not a big Vampire Weekend fan, but
They have this really good song out right now. It's called Sunflower.
they
with
played that
Steve
one.
Lacy.
I think they played that one.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's a cool song.
Yeah, they were great. Who else did I see? There was a lot more B-rated, which I loved because I found a lot of people that like Goth Babe. I don't know if you ever heard of them.
No.
They're interesting. They sound like you would be like emo music, but it was a little bit more lo-fi, which I like a lot. And then Tame again. That I was front row for that one. Got a really good amount of pictures. This girl from Brazil was just passing around a blunt
Yeah.
and stuff. So
That sounds good.
that was great. And that was some good stuff. I think that's some real good
You think it was
Brazilian
Brazilian
yeah,
stuff. You think
Brazilian
she
stuff.
smuggled
Yeah,
it in?
that's some good strain.
That's
I don't condone smoking. I don't even smoke.
Sure.
So
Yeah. But yeah, festivals are a good time.
they're great. I definitely prefer. I definitely want to see Tame by itself and by him, himself, which I am in May. I already
Where's
got
he at?
Detroit.
I just saw. Did that just get released?
Yeah, not that long ago. He announced his album's
I was
coming
looking
out in
at that.
Feb.
Where's it at?
I think it's the Little Caesars Arena.
Okay, so he's got the big venue. then.
Yeah, and that's a great stadium. I saw Queen there. I saw Van Halen there. So
Yeah.
pretty good venue, and I'm excited to see him just by himself. But
There's some cool smaller venues up there, like the Masonic Temple is pretty sweet up there. I saw Mac DeMarco up there.
I love Mac.
Yeah, that was a pretty good concert. I think his band was kind of like pissed at the audience though.
Why?
I don't
Just
know.
ungrateful?
Somebody was yelling during some of his
Oh.
slow, everybody wanted him to play fast songs and he kept wanting to play slow
He
songs.
doesn't really play fast songs.
Yeah. And he just got upset, I think.
I mean, I would imagine.
They didn't encore and his drummer just or not his drummer, his guitarist just like screwed around with everybody. Like
Uh,
they went into like when he would play solo, and he just jammed like the highest pitched noise he could make for like 3 minutes straight. People were
amazing.
like covering their ears and stuff. But it was I mean, it was a pretty good show.
Man, the audience can be a dick though.
Yeah, it'd be tough going up every night and like trying to play the same stuff. And
I mean, that sucks for those kind of bands that, just end up being like one-hit wonders. Like, man.
and like he kept playing his new album and nobody knew it.
No one really likes his new album anyways. I'm not a big fan of it. It's got its songs on there that are good, but is that album just called Salad Days? Yeah. That's one of my favorite albums. Or
that's a good one.
Mac DeMarco 2. That's a fantastic one.
Yes.
Great stuff.
Yes. But yeah. What are we doing on time?
Yeah, 3 minutes if you want to take a break now.
Do you want to take a break now? Yeah, we'll go to break then.
Okay. It's weird from this angle. Oh well.
I like it.
Yeah.
That should be our new intro.
I'll
Slide us
clean it.
into like each segment. We still got to get that original out of you at some point.
Yeah. Again, it's weird because I do a lot of weird psychedelic synth stuff.
Yeah.
But I also I'm a big fan of jazz chords. Like I recently started when I learned guitar first, I was really into like Nirvana and Green Day and all those kind of more. It's not heavy metal, but like a lot of those punk bands, and really they just use like just 3-note, 2-note chords. Mm-hmm. And then I started getting more into like psychedelic rock when I started getting into like the Beatles and stuff, and then Pink Floyd and all of them, and they use a lot more advanced like jazz chords.
Yeah.
And I don't play jazz, God no. I even took
jazz is probably, I guess, I don't know. Is it a little more difficult or not? Really?
It's just different. It just depends. I mean, there's so many different types of jazz. Like it's like metal almost. Like there's just so many different versions. Like Iron Maiden could be considered metal, but also Meshuggah. Mm-hmm. It's kind of in the same branch, but they're not the same at all. Same thing with jazz. Like there's freeform, there's new wave jazz, lo-fi jazz, hip hop jazz. Like I even took like a jazz study class in college. It was really cool. I enjoyed it. I'm not a jazz person. Really? But I respect it a lot.
I gotta be in the mood, but I like jazz.
I remember a couple months ago. I think it wasn't that long. I think it was last month. I went to New York, and I have to be a musician. I have to go for vinyl,
right,
as you do. And I went to this little shop. I just typed in vinyl, and this place came up. It's not a vinyl shop. It's a record player shop, which I've never heard before, because most of the time you just buy record players online or at a vinyl shop. Yeah. This place is just for record players.
Just the players.
Yeah, and
strange.
They're not like $75, $100, $3,000 to $15,000 record players. Like Golden Ear, almost kind of. Okay. I don't know if you ever heard that. Those are like really high-end speakers.
Yeah,
and they sold like 1,000-part needles. Like the needle nose part is like $700 by itself. I'm like, holy damn.
So does it actually sound that much better? Did you hear one?
Well, I sat down in a room. I don't know if it was just because I was in New York that sounded better, but I sat down in this it was like an Art Deca room, like a Great Gatsby style room, and I sat in a chair. I pretended I was holding a Chardonnay and a cigar in one hand. He's got the wine glass.
Don't have the cigar inside.
Yeah. I did have these really tall, like thin speakers, and there's like 50s New York jazz just started playing, like Duke Ellington, and wow, it was crazy. Like I'm a big person in music, and I really appreciate the sound of music. I've never appreciated music that I never listened to as much as I did at that point.
Yeah,
that was pretty surreal. It was weird. It sounded great though.
It is. It's strange how it has a different sound. It's kind of like, I don't know, like warmer or something.
Yeah. I mean, again, a lot of it too. I don't know if that's because I was in New York.
Yeah.
Just like the kind of
like the whole, going into the store and knowing what it was and everything, and
that was a pretty euphoric experience. Mm-hmm. Yeah. there's only been a couple times where I've experienced music on a new level, you know, like
Or some others.
okay, am I allowed to talk about drugs on here? Or okay,
Sure.
so I tripped for the first time a couple weeks ago, and it was with LSD. That's been something I've been wanting to do for a long time, like because I'm a very psychedelic person. Like I love the psychedelic art, psychedelic music. I'm really big into this, like the 60s, 70s scene. That's like, I love that kind of history and stuff, and I just love the idea of it, you know, the science behind it. And I finally got some, and you know, I tested it. It was 100% proof. I didn't get.
How did you test it?
You can buy LSD kits online,
Interesting.
and you just dissolve a tab into it, and
It just lets you know the purity of it.
yeah, 100% pure. It was Hoffman level acid. Yeah, literally, that's what it's known as, Hoffman level.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the Grateful Dead recipe.
Okay.
Yeah, so, and I don't really have a high tolerance at all. Like I don't smoke. I've smoked before, and I get really bad anxiety attacks and stuff.
Yeah.
I've hallucinated under LSD before, so I have a very, very low tolerance.
Under
anything.
marijuana.
I mean, alcohol, I got a really high tolerance for, but
Yeah.
drug substance, man, I'm a bitch.
Yeah.
So I took a full tab, or no, I took half a tab, but one of my friends dissolved like 2 tabs in water, and we drank that like all throughout the entire night. So I probably took at least 2 tabs. That was intense. It was great though. Have you ever tried? No. Yeah, it was something. It was definitely life changing.
Music was better.
Music was so. It was.
Could you see it or no?
It was interesting because like I'm always playing music in my room, like all the time. Like even when I sleep, I just have music playing on my computer and stuff. It's more of just kind of like just always playing. And I even set up like a trip playlist, you know, like a basic hippie and stuff, but like 16 hours of just psychedelic music and stuff. And yes, music was definitely much more like I just paid a lot more attention to things because your senses are just so increased. Mm-hmm. But it was almost more like how, like right now, you know, you hear white noise. Music was almost like that, white noise. I remember turning it off, and it was so loud.
Yeah.
That like the silence, it was deafening. Like I was tripping with a couple friends, and we were all in my room, and they're like, "Landon, turn the music off. We want to try something." And I turned it off. Like I felt like my ears were just screeching. It was weird. It was a really weird feeling.
Strange.
Yeah, everyone says they felt sober for like 5 seconds. And that was pretty interesting, like a weird way to look at life. You know, like music is kind of almost like our white noise, and we don't really realize it. I mean, we got really philosophical that night.
Did you write anything down?
Yeah, actually. I took. So what I decided to do, the one thing everyone, and I'm in a Facebook group, and there are people from like Australia and like England and Scotland.
Australians again.
Yeah, those Aussies. They really know how to party, dude. They were telling me tips and tricks and stuff to do while tripping because one guy said he's tripped more than Hendrix. So like I'll take your word for that. But he says to draw and to write stuff down.
Right.
And yeah, like it just like, I'm trying to find like a calm page, because like in the beginning we just started writing stuff down, like this page right here. It's just our handwriting and stuff. And we thought, oh, let's just see how that dissolves throughout the night. It just started getting more sporadic throughout the night. Yeah. We started writing stuff about like, I'm so shaky, grabbing really hard, too hard, but it's okay. I'm melting into the floor, feel the colors. I'm definitely using more than 10% of my brain. So one thing that a lot of people tell me when you're going to trip is to get fruit. Eat fruit or something healthy.
Why?
So when you're tripping, you are so health conscious. And I was like, oh, maybe, you know, like not snacks and stuff like that. I ordered Domino's like 10 minutes before and stuff, and I ate some cheesy bread. And I won't say that's healthy, but it's definitely a little bit healthier than what they normally have.
Okay.
I felt like I was chewing on trash.
Yeah.
Like I literally felt like it was globbing into my mouth. I started tasting puke. And I got so sick from just one bite. And again, your senses are through the roof. I bit into a grape and I cried. I felt like all these flavors and tones just go through my mouth. Like,
Really?
have you ever seen the scene from Ratatouille where he like bites into the cheese and like he's got like the
I don't recall, but this.
yeah, there's a scene where he bites in, and that's like the example where you're using all night. Like he bites into some cheese or whatever, and like the screen behind him goes black, and like a bunch of colors just starts shooting everywhere, and like it turns into like this bright color of just like bright neon lights. That's what it felt like eating just one grape.
Yeah.
So throughout the entire night, we were eating honeydew, melons, and grapes, and strawberries, and watermelon, and wow, it was weird. It was really weird, but it tasted so good, and anything else tasted like trash.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah, we created a whole religion.
Of what?
It's called ism.
Isism.
Yeah, so everything that we know in a moral construct is based off of the word is. It doesn't make any sense to me now at all when like I try and think
Based
about
on
it.
More. Okay.
But when I was high, we were speaking a whole new language.
Yeah.
Like is made sense. And that would be like a full book. Like
Isism.
yeah, we got kind of crazy. Like we started writing is just everywhere. Like they wrote is on my wall like 1,000 times. Like there's like 20 ises behind my pillow.
And
It's almost like schizophrenic level.
yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy. And then we started talking about like how to reach ascension almost.
Okay.
And we were talking about like is, am, be, are, I, stuff like that. And we were saying if you somehow master all of those,
All the levels.
you become a god. Yeah, it got pretty surreal. We started talking about astrology, and like I believe in a little bit, or believed in a little bit, but then after that night, I've been fully hooked into it.
So, do you think that these are already things that were in your mind that were just more easily
Locked.
accessed?
Yeah.
And then when you're in that suggestible state, it kind of anchors it in. And
Yeah.
that's why your interest has grown.
I mean, really, all acid does. I mean, I'm not a scientist or anything. I've
Right.
done basic research, but it doesn't really put anything to your system. It just kind of unlocks things. It's almost like a key to a door. And
It
so,
almost, well, maybe like changes the volume on certain.
well, yeah,
certain
like
areas in your
everything,
brain.
everything is increased. Your touch, your taste, your
But like
vision.
it probably dampens some things, right?
I
Like
wouldn't-
probably like your would I be right to say your prefrontal cortex maybe is dampened a little bit?
as in,
Maybe have a little bit less like inhibition or like over analysis or like
I haven't really
Or are
noticed
you
because again,
still-
it was just one night.
do you think you
And-
could do math? Like would you be analytical on it or do you
Oh,
think it's
I
just-
see.
You see
Okay.
what I'm saying?
I mean, I definitely was not sober. I would not be able to drive at all. My body was really heavy.
Yeah, it changes the visuals, right?
Yeah.
So
Doing math, like
I'm just wondering,
I
like,
don't
if
know.
you put someone under,
That's-
I don't know,
that's
like
really
an
interesting.
fMRI or something, like what I'm guessing, certain parts are typically more active.
Oh, definitely.
would be less active, and other
Yeah,
less active
I
parts
see.
are more active.
that's definitely something I want to try because I feel like if I was to be in that state and I would do math, I would honestly figure something else out. If
Yeah.
that makes sense. If you gave me like 2 + 2, I would probably write something like is. Yeah, because that's what we were doing the entire night. We were just breaking things down on a I don't know, bare construct.
You were deconstructing language.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. One thing, I think my peak was when I went outside.
Did you look at the stars, or what'd you do?
Wow. Well, first off, it took like okay. So time, time is a construct. That's we start talking about that because that's kind of the first things that you start to grasp is that like time isn't really real. But it got to the point where we felt like we were having 3-hour conversations in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Like it felt like days, but
Yeah.
it was within 15 minutes. It took us to, and my room is on the second floor.
Did you
And
keep a clock around?
I didn't have a clock. I just had I just looked at my phone. I'm like,
Could you read your phone?
I mean, the letters were dancing.
That's what I was like.
Like they were like jiggling,
Okay.
but like I was able just to look at like the clock right on my phone and stuff, and I was just like, holy, how is it only 2:45? You know, it was pretty insane. But I was just trying to get everyone to go outside. Two of them were slouched
This is at
on my
night
bed.
or day?
Yeah, we tripped
It's
overnight.
in the summer.
No, it was
This is
only
recently.
yeah, like
So-
end of November. So I really wanted to go outside, you know, feel the cold air, and my friends from Aussie, you know, those guys, told me to take my shoes off, and I was like, oh, okay. Well, just getting outside was such a task. I literally had to rip people off my bed, like, and it felt like that too. I was literally ripping them off my bed, like almost like I'm ripping fabric. So that was crazy, and you know, everyone thinks, oh, looking at stairs while tripping is a bit weird. I was like, you know, I'm just going to take it with full embrace. I looked at it. I was like, oh, okay. And then immediately I just saw it expand.
Like an Escher.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it felt like I just looked at like a hole in the ground more than stairs.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, like I literally just sank to the floor. So I had to sit on the stairs and just scoot down. And then you know, my friends started to come along too. We go outside, and my porch, it has concrete, and it's got design in the concrete, and I just felt my skin press into every groove. And like, I've walked outside barefoot before, you know, and I never really noticed. Oh, I was like, okay, that feels a bit weird. I literally felt all my skin just press in, and I was like, whoa, this is so good. Everyone take your shoes off. I was like, take your shoes off, everyone. I started to step into the grass. That felt great.
Really
And it was cool too, you know, November air. And I just felt the grass wrap around my feet, like literally just like that.
Yeah. What it makes me wonder is almost like how many like filters we have up, like in normal conscious thought.
Yeah,
if
like
that makes sense.
serotonin blockers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because like you can't process that much information and like function.
Yeah.
Without, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
Like your survival mechanisms, you know, like if all that was turned on at once, like you couldn't drive a car, you couldn't walk down the street.
You would turn into like a natural animal.
Yeah.
Man. The crazy part was when I ran.
You ran?
I ran. Because my one friend was like, oh, Landon, you should totally run. She did like a cartwheel, and she said, whoa. She said she literally saw the earth go upside down. But she was like, Landon, you should run. I was like, oh, okay, I'll run. And like throughout the entire night, I was pretty heavy, and like hallucinations were there, but it was mainly like a very internal feeling. When I ran, I started having like past life experiences almost. Like I started like seeing myself in different locations. Like I saw like a forest, I saw sand, I saw like a desert. I started smelling the desert. Like I started smelling sand. It felt hot, you know, like,
wild.
yeah, I was like, whoa, what the hell was that? I don't know if that was just like my brain just pulling tricks on me, or if I literally just, I don't know, saw my ancestors hunting an animal or something like that. And so the entire night we were just joking about like the primal instinct and stuff like that. And saying that like, oh, maybe if you take enough acid, you'll become into like a monkey
Yeah.
at that point.
It always wears off though.
Yeah. Well, my friends definitely want to do it again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck yeah. And we eventually want to start getting more into like the heavy psychedelics, because really LSD kind of is the skim. Like that's the big one that everyone knows, but like there's so much more, like shrooms, which I've tried before, but they didn't do anything on me. DMT, that's one that me and my friends really want to take, because that's supposed to feel like lifetime.
And it's fast though too.
15 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is bonkers.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a really interesting thing, like with brain chemistry.
Yeah, no, I
And
love
a lot
that
of
kind
them
of
are
stuff.
a lot of them are endogenous, so like a lot of them are already present in some form.
Yeah.
Like I don't think acid is, but I think DMT is present in like very trace amount.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Some people say that's responsible for dreaming, but I think they've kind of said that that's not actually true. Like that was
I
just
don't know.
kinda made
I don't-
up, but
Do they even? I've seen things saying that scientists can't even prove what dreams are. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've seen that.
I've also heard people say that your brain like when people have near death experiences, like your brain like lets off high levels of
Really?
DMT. But Again,
I mean,
that's kind of all. I don't know how
I
you
mean,
would measure it.
DMT's LSD's man-made. DMT
Right.
is natural.
Yeah.
You can find that in nature if you want.
Yeah,
if you really look.
ayahuasca.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, ayahuasca is a little bit different because DMT is just a chemical in ayahuasca. Ayahuasca is a tea.
Ayahuasca's got the full.
Yeah, that's
it has
like
a lot of other things with it.
Yeah, that's like a 13-hour trip for DMT, which that's even insane.
Yes.
Like that's a full LSD
Gonna meet
trip
the-
times 10.
You meet the jaguar.
Yeah, my cousin took DMT one time, and he said he met Father Time.
We got to
so,
wrap it up.
Yeah,
Like
that's a good part. To,
we got to wrap this
end on.
segment up. All right.
We'll come back to it.
Yeah, okay, wait, hold on. Weird angle.
You can. Yeah. Do whatever.
Okay. Yeah. Well, jazz segments. Okay.
You just need to. We're gonna hire you for every single.
All right, sounds good. Maybe like what was it?
You'd be like our studio musician.
like Jimmy Kimmel, and he's got his own little
Yeah.
band over there.
Basically, just like that.
Yeah.
To intro every segment. Yeah.
Just need to come up with like 10-second diddles.
Mhm.
All right.
So we kind of covered music, covered your recent
Trip.
LSD experience,
Yeah.
recent trip. What else you got going on in your life right now?
Uh,
What else are you exploring or kicking around?
kicking around. Let's talk about religion. Why not?
Why not?
I've been having a very religious.
It seems to
kinda
always come to that point.
aspiration.
It's-
I mean,
if we go more than 2 segments, it hits religion.
that's
the
just
third
such.
segment
It's
is
such
always
a.
religious.
It's such a big topic, though.
It is, yeah.
So, out of the way, what are your views on religion? What do you dig in?
I don't know. That's
You don't
such
know?
an open-ended question and very.
What do you
difficult to-
identify yourself as?
Okay, if I had to pick, I would say Christian.
Christian. Okay. Any branch of Christianity, or just pretty
non-denominational.
bare?
Yes.
Okay.
From the Bible,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
not from any.
That book.
Yes. From the book.
For me, I'm a little open-ended. Like, I wouldn't say I'm agnostic because I've kind of gone through phases and stuff. Like, I was raised Christian, but it was never really my thing. I respect it as all hell, I respect all religions and stuff. But I don't know, it just never kind of clicked with me and stuff.
Right.
And I have very religious members of my family and stuff. Not like close. My family alone is pretty open minded and stuff. But I have very conservative, Christian, fundamentalist people in my family and stuff. And I respect them. As long as they respect me, I'm cool. And I was atheist for a little bit, but that was more of like my rebellious, going against the man,
Right.
But I don't know, that was just more of a statement than actual belief. Then I got into a lot of Eastern stuff. Again, that was when I started getting more into the psychedelics. Way before I tripped and stuff. Like I started,
Right.
but I started getting into like Buddhism and Hinduism and Taoism and more of a kind of inner kind of belief. And then I kind of dabbled in a little bit of Christianity and Catholicism for a little bit. Not fully like going to church every day, but like just following the words of, Christ and, 10 Commandments. That's just like a good way to live. So I guess it's more of just kind of my own thing, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I really, even though I asked you what do you identify yourself in, I really do hate labels a lot. I don't really I hate saying I'm an atheist because I won't say I'm an atheist and I wouldn't say I'm agnostic because I know that there's something out there.
Right.
Especially, after my trip, I just kind of felt something, but I also do believe in dinosaurs. I believe in, personally, I believe in evolution. I believe in, I believe in multiple gods almost even. I don't know I wouldn't say multiple gods. It's just, I would say that there's more than one thing out there. If that makes sense. I don't know if that's aliens talking to me or whatever, but
Yeah. I'm wondering why multiple?
I don't know. Like I believe that there's one,
Like,
but
even if there were multiple, wouldn't there be like one?
there has to be at least one if there's multiple. But like a lot,
Like one. It depends what you define.
It's
God as.
it's hard to it's hard to explain because like I feel like a lot of it is that stuff we can't comprehend,
Yes,
yet.
you hit that level very
Yeah,
quickly.
where it's just like we can't even fathom and stuff like that. Because we only know so much. I mean, science
Which
is
is
always,
not much.
science is always expanding and pretty good strides so far.
Yeah, but science doesn't satisfy it though.
Yeah, I agree.
Roman and I just had a discussion on this kind of, and he was like talking about how just how much science doesn't really.
Yeah, I mean, it
satisfy.
helps. Yeah, it's a good vision, but
It explains just what we can already see though.
yeah, and yeah, everything's based around us. So, like, I mentioned earlier, like, I started getting into astrology, and I brought that up with a friend, and he's like, "Oh, that's pseudoscience and stuff." I'm like, "Well, you can't deny it or prove it, because it's based off like star alignment and the seasons. I mean, astrology is not really based around astronomy. It just has the name of astronomy. It's actually based around the seasons. So, and I believe in all that kind of stuff too, getting into that. But like, you can't really prove it nor deny it. It's just what I've read. It connects with me.
Yeah.
And it makes sense to me. But again, I've been really into a lot more of the.
I think a lot of that is almost like placebo, almost like where if you believe it has more of an impact on you than if you don't.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. A lot of it too is when I did trip. That's when I started getting into it, and like my friends have a birth chart on me because like two of my friends are really into it. Like they buy books. They study their entire life into it and stuff like that, and which is cool and stuff. And they pulled up a birth chart on me, and they were able to like describe feelings that I've never told anyone. And a lot of people are like, "Oh, well, that's just basic, generic, like horoscopes almost. Like, you're gonna have
where
a
it's
family,
like a universal.
yeah,
feeling.
family member's gonna die in 10 years or something like that."
Yeah.
But no, they were able to describe like who I'm looking for in a partner, which describe exactly who I'm looking for. They were able to describe me, who I am as a person, what I am interested in, stuff like that, and they were able to get me down to the bone. So, yeah, science and religion, it's pretty interesting.
I don't think that they're that far apart though.
No, I definitely think that they're connected. I just wish that some people stop using it in that way, if you know what I mean.
How so?
Like people that deny science.
Yeah.
As a way to, attack or offend people, or use science to attack and defend people. I think that's just a bit ridiculous, in my opinion.
Yeah. I don't know. In some ways, it's useful.
I agree. Yeah,
arguing a point, just because that's
it's a great way
kind
to
of a basis.
Yeah,
for people to
exactly, a basis. But I feel like sometimes people get too into it,
into science,
or to religion, both ways.
Either way.
Which, in my opinion, I think science is a religion, not Scientology.
Yeah,
but
the way that it's practiced now, in some ways, it is.
And so that's what's kind of worrying me a little bit too, is because I don't say I don't believe in organized religion. I do think that there's good in organized religion. I just think when it gets radical religion, I think that's when things kind of get bad, if that makes sense. And same thing with science, when, radical scientists, I don't think we've really hit that point yet, but we're starting to show traces of like people going too far with it, I think.
Yeah, I think with everything, you have that point and counterpoint. There's always people that are going to push it, and then there's people that'll try to bring it back.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of just the tug that seems to always happen.
Yeah. I just wish people just stop being dicks. That's all I want. Just chill out and trip.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough. It's almost like you need the fighting too, though. Like,
of course.
You need that just to balance things out, I guess.
Yeah, just make.
It'd be great if everybody fell in towards the center, but you almost need both extremes always.
Well, I wouldn't say
kind of playing
center.
with each other.
Are you saying like?
Not like political or anything. I'm just saying like
no,
everybody
as in
had
like
common ground, but
yeah, like common ground.
But what I'm saying is those poles always are kind of moving back and forth
Right.
and then they balance each other out.
Yeah, I see where you're getting at.
Mhm.
And, you know, when people like anti-radical radicalists, people are like, yeah, tongue twister, say that 10 times fast. But the people that are like, oh, you know, I just wish people were all the, you know, just one thing only. Stop making new religions, stop making new sciences and stuff like that. But I enjoy that. I'm glad that there's like 20,000 religions in there.
Yeah.
It's more of the people that are like hard to find differentiation in life.
It's just it. I mean, when you look at Christianity, it's almost like the religion is a different thing from the teaching, almost.
Yeah.
Especially in certain periods of history, especially if you look at like Catholic Church or certain like almost like mega churches and stuff now. And I don't know. I mean, I think the teaching is pretty valid, and I think especially for a Western point of view,
Yeah.
I think that that's like a much more, I don't like to describe it that way, but much more accessible
I see.
for most Westerners.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
It's definitely interesting, especially when you're starting to get into the point of like accessibility. Because I mean, there's like a church every 5 seconds.
Yeah.
There's a new church going on Main Street,
Is there?
where Ace Hardware is, because they just that entire branch or company closed down.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, definitely accessibility everywhere.
Yeah.
It's just because where I live, you live right by LOB, and so do I. I live in that little area. There's like 4 churches, literally. There's Gateway, then there's I don't know what, then there's the one that's right there on that road.
I think it's really good it's a good way for the community to come together.
Yeah. It's just scary when people start saying my way, the only way. That's my problem with organized religion, air quotes. Because I've been attacked before, both physically and just
Really?
through word of mouth, based on my opinion. And I've never been disrespectful.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm always respectful towards
How so?
people and their views.
Like, what is the?
Like, again, I have family members. They've called me names, stuff like that. They've bullied me. I've had people beat me up and stuff like that. Like,
It's just, again, it's strange.
it's just negative. It's just negative because
That's
it's
not really-
It's completely against what you're believing. Love thy neighbor, asshole.
Yeah. It's against the teaching of it.
It's just ridiculous. And that part too is that like they nitpick certain things out of the book that like appropriates them, but if it goes against them, they'll ignore it. Like, being gay is a sin, but wearing multiple fabrics, that's as equal as being gay, but polyester, cotton, nylon,
Are you talking about like Old Testament?
Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know. I mean, I think if you take the Gospels, like the 4 books,
The
Jesus
good
and
stuff is great. I love the good stuff.
I like the Old Testament to read. I prefer to read it almost. It's really good.
It's been a while. I used
really
to
great.
read the Bible a lot just as a book,
Yeah.
because I like it as a book. And I've read Genesis at least 1,000 times. Like, that opening chapter is just
That's if you want something psychedelic, read John, the first chapter of John, about the Word was God, and that's a pretty psychedelic chapter right there.
Yeah.
Same with Genesis, really.
Damn Neo.
Yeah, no, seriously. And I don't know. There's a lot you can get into if you want to try to prove it like logically. There's a lot of really good philosophy behind it.
I love all that kind of stuff.
And-
Like the good word of the Lord. That's stuff to go by.
Yeah.
Me, as I'm not a personal believer in
Right.
that style, but again, 10 Commandments. That's good shit.
Yeah.
That's some good shit.
For sure. Yeah. Wrap it up.
Yeah.
All right. Well. All right. Well,
All right.
You can say goodbye if you want.
we can say goodbye if we want. Andy gives us permission. So, goodbye.
Wait, we got permission?
We got permission, I
good,
think, so
good.
we can say goodbye. Give him the peace sign.
All right.
Say done.
Wait, does the camera actually work?
I hope.
Is it recording? Oh, okay.
Or
cool.
recording
All
just
right. It's been... All right, cool.